Welcome back to the Daily Plus Live. So happy that you are with us this afternoon. A live look at Hart Plaza, getting ready for the thousands of people who will pack it for the Detroit Jazz Festival. It is the largest free jazz festival in the world. And joining me now is Chris Collins. He is the president and the artistic director of the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation. You're also a professor and Valade Endowed Chair in Jazz at Wayne State University, and of course an active jazz artist. It's great to see you, Chris.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
I mean, after all of the planning, here we are. You're rolling right into the weekend. How are things shaping up, and how has it been putting this show on for this year?
Well, our incredible production team has been setting up since Thursday of last week, 23 semis and everything that goes along with it, and everyone's safe and happy and healthy, so that's good. We're started well, and we go from Hart Plaza, as you know, all the way upward to Campus Martius Cadillac Square, so we're expecting 325,000 plus people in person, about a third from outside the region, along with close to 2 million through the live streams that we provide every year as well. And of course, it's all free and one of the premier jazz festivals in the world. So it's a very wonderful thing in Detroit.
I mean, I think sometimes we can take for granted that we have this amazing music and really the rich heritage of jazz here in Detroit. And this is over 40 years old. Talk to me about how Detroit really does stand out in bringing a place for musicians to come and jazz lovers to be here, and how important it is that this is a free festival.
That's right. It's not just a festival in the city of Detroit. It's the Detroit Jazz Festival, a city that has this unique symbiotic relationship with the music of Detroit. Many of our great legends helped to create what we would call the modern jazz vocabulary now. And of course, Detroit continues to put out great artists in every vernacular, but particularly in jazz. So it's still resonating very strong around the world. And that's why Detroit Jazz Festival this year is quite Detroit-centric, with Kareem Riggins as our artist in residence, bringing together his jazz musicality and wisdom with his deep understanding of hip-hop and rap and DJing, and along with get this, 3 of the 4 NEA Jazz Masters this year are Detroit natives. Regina Carter, Kenny Garrett, and Louis Hayes. They're all going to be with us, along with a host of the leading Detroit artists and some aspiring musicians and everything in between. It's really going to be special, something we can all enjoy, and something everyone is welcome to.
Yeah, and I like how you're able to connect it with a live stream as well, so people still feel that they have a sense of place, even if they are not with us here in person in Detroit. Talk to me a little, though, about the Angel of Jazz campaign and the donation for a pin made in memory of Gretchen Valade, who really loved the arts and was a huge supporter, how people can get in and help support her memory.
A very special person, incredible vision and mission. The only thing she ever asked of me was, Chris, keep it real jazz and keep it free. She wanted to see everybody playing on those stages that deserve to be there, and a very pure thought of mine about keep that free thing, because it's a barrier we can break down. So we wanted to celebrate her. It would have been her 98th birthday just last Sunday, so we launched a thing called the Angel of Jazz campaign, where if you go to DetroitJazzFest.org, you'll see the link for Angel of Jazz right on the homepage. You click it, you give a donation of $50 to support her vision and the propagation of the Jazz Fest Foundation. And we have this wonderful pin, 2 angel wings with a halo and musical notes, and it'll be waiting for you at the festival. You can pick it up and show everybody your love and commitment to continuing that vision and mission of the great Miss Valade.
I love it. When are you going to be playing, Chris?
I rarely do focus things. I direct the orchestra and do what I can when it's appropriate. But this year, I do have a Global Connect program every year where I seek out those artists that are doing something special regionally from their country. This year, it's the Hurricane Trio from Italy, very unique time and harmonic concept of Europe. And I'll be there with them, making it a quartet on Sunday at 5:15 on the amphitheater stage. And it's an opportunity to bring some music and some artists that we may not otherwise see, that embraces that Northern Italy European vibe.
You know, sometimes with big events, we're all focused towards the stage and looking at musicians. For you, though, do you ever turn and look in the crowd and kind of give me what some of your moments are when you're able to take things in, and some of the special things that go through your mind when you see this play out after a year of planning?
Oh, what a great question. Yeah, I mean, I got to give kudos to my incredible Jazz Fest team and the board and all our companies, production company and others, because that's where I see that in action. We work very hard to have excellence in sound and lighting and audience experience, but also the artist experience. We pay them as competitively as any festival, because that's part of our mission. But what I do actually is sometimes I put on a pair of jeans and I go sit out front and kind of feel the vibe of the audience, because I'm a musician. I've loved this music my whole life and studied it my whole life, but there's something very, another level of excitement, energy, and humanity going on at the Detroit Jazz Festival, because everyone's welcome, everyone can come, highly diverse audience, and yet still one of the greatest audiences. And to see some cat from the suburbs and some cat from the middle of the city, and they're high-fiving, because something cool just happened on the bandstand. They don't even know each other. There's a lot of that going on, and it fills my heart to see jazz at the center of that, and to see the mission and vision of the festival feeding that. It's just, as a human being, it makes me feel great about who I am and what I do.
Yeah, music is the great connector. Let me just ask you, because I know that you're also at Wayne State, what are you hearing, I guess, from the younger generation in connecting with jazz music and infusing it with other genres of music as well? What would you say that the younger students of jazz are talking about or thinking about when it comes to this kind of music?
Every generation, there's always those group of young people that they have to be a jazz musician. It's a beautiful thing. But yes, jazz has always been about absorbing modern music and other cultural musics and blending it in without losing the tradition, the language, and the legacy of this music. So that's why having elder musicians pass on the language through mentorships and jam sessions and mixing generations in their band is so important. You'll see a lot of that at the Jazz Festival, as well as our year-round events, because young people, it takes a lifetime to really, find yourself in this music. But learning the craft is building the foundation you have to do when you're young, and it's happening all throughout Detroit just as powerfully as it ever has. And the older generation takes it upon themselves to be the mentors in the jazz family, to lift up the aspiring musicians. And I try to reflect that at the festival with open submissions and seeking, going to hear cats of every generation and finding those that are at a very particular place in their career or have achieved a certain something special that year, a certain project. And that's what I want to bring to the festival stage, which is a sacred thing.
I love it. Thanks so much, Chris. I really appreciate it. Chris Collins, the President Artistic Director of the Detroit Jazz Festival. I'm very excited for the weekend. It's going to be a good one. We're going to be sweating it out. It's going to be nice and hot out there for everybody.
Plenty of cold drinks.
That's right. That's right. We'll count on it. Thanks so much, Chris. And stay with us. We'll be right back. Damon Fernandez sat down one-on-one with Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan. We'll have his conversation, and then Damon will join us. And there is another view of Hart Plaza as they're getting ready for the Detroit Jazz Festival this weekend. Stay with me. We'll be right back.